Okay, so it took me a while, but I finally read through Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen by Wizards of the Coast for D&D 5th edition. So let's talk about it today here in the Geek Corner. Hey there everybody, it's Rev Kev. Welcome back to the Geek Corner channel. So appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you to all my new subscribers who became part of the community here because of this video that I think kind of struck a nerve with some people. So I really thank you so much for reaching out to me and your comments. It really meant a lot. If you're new to the channel, I would encourage you to check out in the description all the proceeds that I make from YouTube go to help children with Compassion Canada. Compassion is all about alleviating poverty for children in the name of Jesus, and we are part of a collective that does tons of work with that. All the proceeds go to help that out, whether it's membership, super chats, all that stuff goes to help these kids. Check that out in the description. So, as I said, finally got through this, the Dragonlance campaign book for D&D 5th edition. It's the first big offering of Dragonlance in 5th edition. Now, as I've said in the previous video, I'm brand spanking new to D&D 5th edition. I've not played D&D since college, and that's actually not actually 100% true. I actually played a couple of times, maybe about 10-15 years ago, to try to get back into it, and it just didn't catch. Just didn't fit with my schedule. But now I'm trying to get back into it. So love Dragonlance. I'm a huge Dragonlance fan. In fact, all of these books right here, there's actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves completely full of nothing but Dragonlance novels. This is Star Wars expanded universe stuff. But huge Dragonlance fan. So this is going to be spoiler free, no spoilers at all about this, but I want to talk about two big things. I want to talk about first the good, what I really liked about this campaign, and then I'm going to talk about the meh about this, and then we'll go from there. Would love to know what you think about this campaign if you read it, or if you're playing it. Would love to hear about it without spoilers in the comment section below. So first, the good. Whoa, don't throw your books around. The good. It's fun. It would be a fun campaign to play. It has a really good variety of different types of adventures. You have your meet and greet, where you just kind of have to go into town and figure your way around, get to meet characters. You got some searching out, some clues, you got some dungeon crawling, you got some warfare, kind of bigger scale combat happening. Lot of variety in the type of adventures you can play. There's also like some introductory adventures to kind of draw all your characters into a party, which I thought was really cool to kind of build into their stories. So I really like that. Quality of the book is excellent. I do have to say a lot of the quality of everything I've seen so far has been really nice. The art is really nice. I really like the artwork a lot. My favorite thing, honestly, about this is the map. It comes with this ginormous map of the continent of Ansalon, and it is stunning. It is stunning. As a longtime Dragonlance fan, this is probably the nicest map of Ansalon that I have ever seen. I really want to get this framed or laminated or something. It will look great on my wall. This is stunning. And just to see all the locations that I know from all the years I've been reading Dragonlance, to see it all kind of in that one map. The map is gorgeous. It's by far my favorite thing in the campaign. So again, fun story, beautiful art, good quality, could be a lot of fun to play. Now for the meh. It just doesn't feel like Krynn. There's a few things, and this is going to be me not ranting or raving, but just a little bit of a nitpicking as someone who's loved this fantasy genre, this fantasy world for so long, where I think it's missing a couple of things. So when I eventually run this with my friends, I'm going to change the feel of this so that it feels more like Krynn. First and foremost, Kender. One of my favorite characters is Tasselhoff Burfoot. Love him in all the books, and back in college, the last time I played AD&D Dragonlance, Kenders were amazing fun to play. The fearlessness of them, the childlike behavior of them, and honestly, what's missing in here is the kleptomaniac. The fact that they steal stuff. Like, you just can't have Kender without the tension of the story that Kender bring by them stealing stuff. I was actually just talking about this with my family the other day, like about how this actually fits for some really good storytelling. So imagine, this isn't in the campaign, this is just me making something up. So you imagine you're going through all this adventure and you got to go through this dungeon crawl and you have to find this key, and then you've got the key, and then you had to find a map, and then you got the map, and then you had to get through this location to get to this door, and then you finally get to this door, you're going to save the world, and you need the key that you found like 5 adventures ago. And you go and you go into your pouch, and there's no key. The key's just gone. Did you lose it? What happened to it, right? And then you kind of backtrack a little bit. You got to go back through the dungeon, try to find that key again. Just creates all this tension, and then it turns out the Kender had it in his pouch the whole time. You know, that they totally forgot they even had it. It's like, oh, I thought you dropped this, and I meant to give it back to you. It's just fun. It's just fun tension. It's not about screwing other players or anything like that. So I definitely got to find some rules online to bring that back into the game, where items just get stolen and swiped and put into Kender pouches that the players don't even know about. The Kender doesn't even know about it, because it's not about being malicious and hosing over the other players and stealing something you want. It just creates such a fun part of Krynn. The other part I found in this was with the class introduction of the Knights of Solamnia. They weren't nasty enough. And what I mean by nasty is the knight had become so ingrained into their tradition, they forgot what their tradition's supposed to actually be about. Like, the Oath and the Measure was about kind of protecting people, but then the Oath and the Measure became about protecting the Oath and the Measure. And I love that about the Knights of Solamnia. Like, and so they're very inward focused. They're a little racist. They're a little sexist. They would never follow an elven princess, which made Lorana's story in the original Dragonlance Chronicles so incredible that she even became the Golden General and is used to defeat the Queen of Darkness, because the knights would never have followed someone like that originally. So it showed her character arc. It showed their transformation. So there's missing this tension of the Knights of Solamnia. They wouldn't. This is a little bit spoiler. So one of the adventures, I won't give the details of it, but they want you to go find some gnomes and get an invention from the gnomes. And again, this is another thing that doesn't feel like Dragonlance, because the gnome inventions didn't work. They were dangerous. They always backfired. There's only like one gnome who invented his life quest device, and it worked, and that's the magic device of time traveling. So a Knight of Solamnia would not send you to go to gnomes to get something, because one, they were a little racist and they wouldn't want their devices, and two, the devices would basically kill everybody, so they wouldn't want it anyways. So those little type of tensions, a little bit of tension is good for the story. It creates advancement and things like that. And then finally, what I felt was missing as well too is that the world just felt too clean. There's a little comment at the beginning of the introduction that talks about how the world had been completely devastated by the cataclysm, and that how the gods had left and mankind is left alone. And there's a little line in here, and I can't remember exactly how it puts it, but it's basically saying like the world is now healing. And then you're introduced to this town where the races all get along and everyone gets along, and you know there's dwarves and elves and humans and everyone, and they're all getting along, and they got to fight against this new threat of the Draconians. And for me, that was why this doesn't feel like Krynn, because the world is not well. The world, even though it's been 300 years since the Cataclysm, at the time of the War of the Lance, the reason why the Queen of Darkness chose now's the time to attack is because the world is so divided and the world is so broken, and the distrust between the races and everything else that played out in that time period, which made the companions of the original series stand out. Because they put aside their racial differences, they put aside their gender differences, and they rose up to be friends and heroes. But there was still tension. You know, Sturm the knight still didn't like Raistlin the mage because there was distrust between knights and magic users. And which is funny because Sturm's greatest hero was Huma, and his best friend was a magic user, Magus. So why wouldn't he want to emulate his hero? Because the world was a mess. The world was a mess. And so I think the world of Kryn here is just a little too cleaned up for me. And so I would actually like to bring a lot of that tension back. Some of the big tension that is completely left out of this, from the reading that I've done of it, is the theocrats. Like basically this whole enmeshment of the worship of the new gods into politics. It never goes well when you integrate religion and politics. They should be separate. I'm a big believer in that, even as a pastor. Okay, but the theocrats created this great dynamic, kind of this enforcement of the worship of these new gods. But the new gods aren't even real. There's no power there. It's just all corruption. A lot of opportunities. So even some of the villains in here that get introduced could have easily been replaced, not just with these rich people, but theocrats. And so these are some of the changes that if you play with me through this, I'm going to change. So all in all, really enjoyed this. Like the story. It will be fun to play. Needs quite a bit of tweaking for me in order to feel like Dragonlance. Just because you've got dragons, just because you have Kender, just because you have Knights of Solamnia, just because you have a Dragonlance doesn't make it Dragonlance. So this, for me, needs a significant amount of tweaking. But hey, that's the fun of this after all, isn't it? To kind of tweak it and make it your own. So I'm looking forward to grabbing a notepad and a pen and starting to do just that. So that's it for the video. Again, thank you so much to all of you who are part of the community. It really means a lot to me. If you've read this, would love to know your thoughts about it down in the comment section below. And as always, really means a lot to me. Check out that link about Compassion Canada and the ways that all the proceeds of YouTube go to help that. Consider becoming a member to help with that project as well. Since this is really I'm just kind of getting back into really rolling out this channel. I got a lot of ideas and I'm playing on, try to get a little bit more consistency, try to get some special stuff for members. And yeah, should be a lot of fun as we discuss this stuff and geek out together. So until next video, God bless you, and we'll talk to you again real soon.